Hi, this is Tina from Inner Delight, and I'm delighted to be here for another We Uplift moment. And today, joining me is the beautiful Amy. Welcome, Amy.
Thank you, Tina. It's really nice to be here.
Yes, I'm so looking forward to what you're going to be sharing with us because I've been watching your posts on Facebook and your beautiful website, sacredearthherbals.com, and just you do many things that really resonate with me very deeply, one of them being the flower essences. So, would you love to share a bit about how you got passionate about the flower essences and whatever else you'd like to share about them?
Sure. Well, I ended up going to school to become a certified clinical herbalist after I finished college. I got done with my degree and I realized I had no usable skills in the world. So I have a degree in literature, so I can read. I can read stuff, and I can write papers really well. And so I decided I wanted to do something more practical, and I have always felt a deep connection to the earth, to gardening, to plants, and I was just very guided to go to a lovely school in Boulder, Colorado, called the North American Institute of Medical Herbalism.
Oh,
tongue
it's a
twister in
mouthful.
itself. It's naimh.org if people want to check it out. It's an awesome school, and there I was blessed to have some amazing teachers, and I studied materia medica, therapeutics, how to have a client-clinician relationship, and I actually got to do an 8-month clinical internship there in a sliding scale clinic, which was also a great blessing because I got to work with people of very limited means as well as people with more income, and so I got to really work with the gambit of people up in Boulder. But during that process, I met a teacher named Zita Xavier, who was a teacher at that school who lived in Crestone. And so in studying with her at the school, I ended up wanting to delve more deeply into the flower essence therapy. And I traveled down to Crestone quite a bit to study with her, to do workshops, and to really connect with the land here. And I never imagined I would move here, but I kind of ended up here on a whim. Let's just call it a whim.
Where were you before then?
In Boulder
Oh,
for
you were
about
from
6
Boulder.
years.
Okay.
Yeah, so I ended up in Crestone and having studied flower essence therapy with this lovely, lovely teacher. And I've been here for about 4 years, and I've been building my personal practice here. It's a really small town, so we only have about 1,400 people here. And so I've been branching out now, out into the wider world because I love making flower essences, and I do it every week. We have markets here. We have a farmer's market, and I set up and I do little sessions with people, and I see clients privately, but I have just now launched into seeing clients over Skype or the phone, which is really exciting because I've learned that the distance is meaningless when it comes to dowsing and using energetic, intuitive methods, and so it's really exciting. I'm just so excited to be able to work with clients from all over the world and work with people from outside of just my little tiny town here, which I love, and I love that work as well. So that's definitely my little short story of how I got into herbalism and flower essence therapy. I guess on a more personal note, the flower essences just resonate with me so deeply. I have a Pisces moon. I'm a triple water sign, so I have the intuitive, emotional, empathic stuff, and they have been so supportive for me in living in the world at large, which can be so challenging at times, especially for people that are really sensitive. I do find that flower essences help with everyone, with all different kinds of personality types. I do see that they are very protective and very supportive on the energetic levels. So the levels that we work with flower essences are the physical, the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual, all 4 levels of being. And how I see them working is they're very subtle, but they're very profound medicine, and they shift things on an energetic level on often the emotional, mental, or spiritual bodies. And those shifts, or releasing blocks, or identifying issues that we're still carrying around in one of our etheric bodies, so often can help improve the physical health and help move physical ailments and actually move dis-ease. So I work a lot with herbs. I work a lot with nutrition. I'm also a certified nutritionist. But I use flower essence therapy with all of my clients, all of my herbal and nutritional clients, because of how supportive they are for changes, for making life changes, diet changes, for doing things, for really when people are really ready, when they have some dis-ease, some sort of physical ailment, the flower essences are like right there, ready to help move that energy. So I also do just flower essence therapy for folks that aren't wanting to do full herbal nutritional intakes and consultations. And that's more like a kind of like a therapy session. So I usually start by having a person voice what's going on with them, what's up. And then I use the pendulum to dowse, which I could happily show you guys today.
Cool.
And yeah, it's really fun. It's kind of a spectacle. People sometimes are like, oh, it's magic. And I don't think of it as magic. I just think of it as connecting to different parts of the consciousness that are not as easily accessible. The higher self or the source energy, or also spirit helpers, kind of depends. It's all semantics to me. It's whatever you believe, that core energy that we all carry with us. I think the pendulum is just a really lovely tool for me. It works well to connect in with that higher knowledge and basically connect in with the energy of whomever I'm dowsing for and find out what's up for them on the energetic levels.
Right. And do you do this with groups as well?
I never have done it with a group. I've taught classes where I kind of teach people how to get into pendulum dowsing and get them going on their own, and then go through around with people and help them pick their essences if they're having a challenge with the pendulum. But I've never done just like a group dowsing. I was sort of thinking today I might do that, something like just what is up for the people that are going to be viewing this, or for you and I, or for just in general, like in the universe with astrology and with changes and what's up. So I'd be really happy to do that.
Yeah,
that sounds fun.
I can see some webinars coming up.
Yeah, no, I think so. I just, yeah, it's really exciting. So I'm going to push it back a little bit. Let me know, can you see the essence sets right here in front of me now?
Barely. A little bit.
Okay. Let me try that.
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
That's good. Okay.
Great.
This just gives people kind of an idea. This is the Bach set. This is a set that a lot of people are familiar with. Dr. Bach in the 1930s was a medical doctor who had spiritual experience in nature and rediscovered, I would say, how to harness the power of flowers as medicine energetically. So Rescue Remedy comes out of this set. A lot of people are familiar with Rescue Remedy. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to go through my process a little bit verbally. I don't normally say these things out loud, but to give people out there an idea of how I get myself ready or situated to do the intuitive dowsing. And then I'm going to go ahead and douse and just see what comes up for all of us right now. And then I'll just talk through them. And that gives you all an idea of what these amazing medicines can do. So I always start out by grounding, by connecting myself into the mother and asking for her support. And then I ask to clear my ego and to be connected to my higher self or source energy. Older sister is how I think of her. And if I'm dowsing for someone specific, I'll call in their spirit helpers. For right now, I'm just going to call in who I call in for myself when I'm dowsing, which is the angels. Specifically, I've been working with Archangel Gabriel lately, and any animal totems that I have, beaver, elk, eagle. And I also ask for help from any other benevolent spirits that are here to support me and find the essences that are up right now energetically for myself and for people that might be viewing this. And that's basically my process. So now I'm just going to see what comes up. The pendulum simply works in yes and no's. So I'm getting yes. I narrow things down through yes and no's. And when practicing with the pendulum, it actually becomes, you don't even need the pendulum at some point. You can just feel it. But I find it to be such a helpful tool. Okay, well, 4 essences came up. That's a nice number. I have many other sets, and I actually have hundreds, I guess, 300 perhaps essences. Wow. And when I make people formula, yeah. So that's why dowsing is really nice, because when I make people a formula, I can just get right to it, and kind of cut out the conscious mind part. But so today, these 4 that came up, the first one is beech. Mm-hmm. It's a tree. And this one is about feeling judgmental. It can be when we feel a little overly critical of other people, whether it be, this one's not usually directed at the self. This one is usually an outward essence where we're having a hard time. Somebody has done something that is hard for us. And so this one, the positive qualities, is to help you get into a place where you can respect and appreciate everyone, despite flaws, despite mistakes, to get to a place of compassion rather than judgment or criticalness.
Definitely appropriate for these times, huh?
Yeah. I mean, this, and then this can be a mirroring thing. If we're feeling like other people are judging us, then all of a sudden we judge them, and it can turn into this back and forth kind of energy. And so, so beech helps just to be able to see the good in people, and to accept people for their flaws or for their mistakes. So that's a nice one. I'm going to go ahead and take a few drops of these.
We'll just
normally I put them.
Yeah,
you can all feel that. I'll just send that out to you guys in a wave. Normally when I make an essence for people, I do it in a 1-ounce bottle, and I usually put about 4 drops of each essence in the bottle. And then at the end, I succuss it 108 times the number of the divine feminine, which in the homeopathy, it's a similar principle where it actually makes it more powerful than before when you dilute and then you succuss. So succussing is a fancy word for hitting it. It's like hitting it.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's a fancy homeopathic word for hitting it. But for right now, I'll just take a few drops and send that energy out to you guys. The next one that came up, and this is definitely up for me, and it reminds me of Nalini's talk last night on the Revolution for Evolution. This one is Cerato. It's this gorgeous blue flower, just vibrant, gorgeous. And this one is all about trusting your inner knowing and believing in your inner intuition. It's also a bit of a throat chakra medicine where it can really help to speak your truth when you know it. It's in there, but maybe you're not standing up for it, not speaking it, not actually acting on that inner intuition. And it can be when we're afraid or hesitant to really follow our own deeper knowing, when we're a little bit overly influenced on outside advice, be it from our families or our culture, whatever it is. This one is all about clearing away all the cobwebs and tuning into your own deepest intuition and knowing. So for me, this is really up, and Leni's talk last night was like really right on for me.
Yeah. Love how that happens. All right, take a few for us.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, when she was talking about, when we hear that inner voice and we don't listen to it, to not beat ourselves up.
So how interesting.
That really resonated with me. So, but this is about really listening to that voice and acting on it.
But it's so interesting that the first one you say is for letting go of judgments. So would it also maybe tie in with that if you let your own inner voice be, or that inner truth be expressed, the fear of being judged by others, so that helps heal that? Would you say that would work in combination with those two?
Very, very much so. Yeah. Very astute observation. Yeah, they the essences so often form a pattern, and actually the next one that came up goes right along with these issues.
Yeah.
Along with what I just brought up. So it's pine. It's another tree. And this one is all about self-forgiveness and letting go of past mistakes, not holding on to it, not having guilt, not having shame, simply saying, okay, I made a mistake and I can learn from it, and I'm going to let it go and move on so that I can create what I want. Because the more we hold on to that old stuff, the harder it is to make new things.
Yeah.
So for me, that goes right along with the listening to the inner intuition. Because I tend to beat up on myself if I don't, I had that voice and I ignored it, and now look what happened,
Yeah, we've all been there.
These are definitely right up for me right now. So self-forgiveness, self-love, moving forward despite past mistakes. And that's, that's up for everyone, I think, at most times. I find for myself, like, it's so easy to berate yourself. Why did I do that? Why did I say that?
We're our own worst critics, yeah.
Yeah, we are. I think we are our own worst critics. And so the beach, the outward kind of fearing of being judged and criticalness and everything so often comes from a place of insecurity or feeling shameful or feeling like we've done something wrong on some internal level. So I think those all go together pretty well.
Beautiful. So now this is da 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 da. Drum roll.
Actually, it's a very strong essence. It's the Star of Bethlehem. Oh. And this is probably the most powerful trauma essence, at least in this set. And this one is for old trauma. This one could be for the earth that we're all transmuting. There's a lot of trauma, obviously. This one also comes up when people have early childhood trauma, in uterine trauma, past life trauma. This one comes up when we're carrying something around in our etheric bodies that's not serving. We're carrying around some old thing that's really been a burden, on the energetic levels, and it could have been a physical trauma or an emotional trauma. This is in Rescue Remedy. It's great to give people that have just, say, been in a car accident, or to give an animal if they've been in an accident or in a fight or something. Rescue Remedy is amazing, and it's 5 essences, but this is the Star of Bethlehem is probably like the core essence, in my opinion, of that formula. So, I would say for myself, this is feeling more universal right now, just the energies of healing deep traumas.
Yeah.
So I'll send that out. Oh, well, that was fun. So that was just a little mini dose. Often when I dose for a formula for someone, it'll be more like 10, 11, 13 even essences. Sometimes as few as like 5 or 7, but it's usually quite a few. And they usually work together, just like we saw, like they form a pattern. Like when you look at the whole pattern, you take a step back, it's very clear, like, oh, that all works together.
Yeah, it's like they start telling a story. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, like telling a story. And for people, it's so interesting using the pendulum, because oftentimes there are things we can't articulate. They're in there, and when they come up with the pendulum and I voice them to somebody, it oftentimes I'd say, allows them to recognize something that they just hadn't pinpointed. Yeah. Oh, that's what's going on. And once you can recognize something, I think it's much easier to clear it or to heal it, to do what needs to be done with it. So part of the process of essence therapy for me is just simply bringing to awareness and the forefront the things that are up for us.
Great. And so then when you do a session like this for somebody on the other side of the world, for instance, then how do you go about getting the essences to them? Or do you just suggest that they go purchase them where they are?
No, I actually have sent things. I've sent things out, to Mexico and Australia.
Cool.
They got to make it all the way through the mail and all the way across the world. But, what's interesting is that the folks I've been doing the long distance work with that are out of the country, and the people that are in the country but still have to send it in the mail, have been telling me that they can experience the effects of the essences before they even get the bottle. That just going through the process, and like I said, kind of bringing to the surface things that are up is the beginning of the process. And then the medicine itself is so supportive in helping to acknowledge, clear, even you'll get ones that are supportive that are simply saying, you're doing this and keep doing it, So they're such beautiful helpers, the plants, and they have such Christ consciousness, such a desire to help heal all the beings on this planet, not just humans. And I do use flower essences for animals a lot because they can't talk, so they can't tell us what's wrong necessarily. We might be able to guess or intuit, what's going on with them. I use them for babies, little ones that can't speak. I've done flower essence therapy for unborn babies, which is so fun.
How do you do that then?
I just ask, if I've only actually done that, I think in person, but if I'm there with the mom, the mom to be, I just ask to tune into the energy of the baby, and mom takes it too.
Okay, right.
There's there's often, well, they say with mothers and children that they're in their same energy field for about 7 years.
Yep.
So often things are going to go together. But you get really interesting things like about individuality and wanting to like have their own sort of sense of self. There's a lot of really interesting stuff that comes up with the unborn ones. So.
Wow, I love this. I love it. I love it. I love it. And for people who are watching, it would be so much fun, to get feedback from what people are experiencing from the essences that you were sharing. And
yes.
Yeah, so to go on Facebook, you've got your page on there. Your website is sacredearthherbals.com. And is there another place where you would like people to connect with you?
I'm on Twitter also, but I think Facebook and through my website are great. You can contact me through my website and get on my email list if you want to get, kind of updates on what I'm doing, upcoming potentially webinars or online classes and things.
Wonderful. So. And I love that you're able to do this via Skype. So for anyone anywhere who's going to be able to connect with you and have this experience, this is exciting. Yay.
It is exciting. I'm very excited, I have to say, because this is my favorite work. I love working with people with herbs, making teas, tinctures, salves, doing nutritional consultations, and getting to the root of what's causing, issues. But I just think flower essences are, the most amazing supportive modality that I know of, that I use and that I resonate with. So for other people that resonate with it, it's really fun.
Well, if they weren't yet, I'd say that by watching you, picking up on your enthusiasm and your passion, it's a very good feeling. So thank you for sharing that, Amy.
Well, thank you so much. This is really fun. I love working with the flower devas and the essences and with people and doing that kind of work and talking things out. And, it's just everything about that is my purpose or my path. And it's such a blessing to know what you're supposed to be doing. Then it's just about figuring out how to do it. So
yeah, and then we're here to share it. So for everyone watching this, pass this forward to your friends. Let them have the experience of this. And go check out Amy's website, again, sacredearthherbals.com. And your Facebook page is also Sacred Earth Herbals?
That's right.
There's yeah. Okay, so the facebook.com/Sacred Earth Herbals, and you'll be able to connect with Amy there. And you also see her on the Whispering Energy page, of course. So I look forward to some other segments with you, diving into this a little bit more. And until then, many joyful blessings, and thank you for being here, Amy.
Well, thank you so much, Tina. And I just want to extend a thank you to the Whispering Energy team and Malady and everyone, because I just feel so supported and uplifted. And, it's just been such a wonderful thing to plug into. So thank you all.
Thank you very much.